How's it going, everyone? Badger here. Welcome back to the channel. And if you don't know, if you haven't heard me talk about it before, Gary from Nerdrotic is my main inspiration channel. Started watching him a couple of years ago, and you can only hear someone say, "Hey, join us, start a channel. If you're passionate about this, join us. We need all the help we can get." Well, here we are. Here we are. Here other people are too. Other people are taking this message. So here's Gary. It's a slow news day today, so thank God Gary is out with the video, something for us to talk about. He always brings those salient points of really what we're trying to get across, and he does it in a humorous way. So let's see what his video, Star Wars Death by Mary Suicide. Oh.
Ray! Ray! Ray, I never told you Ray! Ray!
Finn got done. Turn this down so I can talk. Finn got done. He got done the dirtiest.
I bypassed the oppressor.
Nerdrotic.com.
Disney had a rough 2000.
That was a good joke, so I don't want to talk over it. Yeah, Finn, next to Luke, Finn got done the dirtiest. Just could have had a great story arc, but nope.
I bypassed the oppressor.
Nerdrotic.com.
Disney had a rough 2023 with all of their catastrophic flops, losing billions on streaming, bumbling CEOs, and all the black eyes from the culture war.
Only one movie was profitable, and that was Guardians of the Galaxy. All of their other movies lost money.
But there's some good news on the horizon, at least with one of their subsidiaries, because Disney Star Wars is saved. Again, I know we've heard this one before. Star Wars was saved when Disney purchased it from George Lucas until it wasn't.
And again, we always knew they were going to kill Han Solo. Harrison Ford has been on record saying he wanted him to die in Return to the Jedi. So I think the complaints are it could have been done in a bit more of a heroic fashion, but
Star Wars was saved at the end of Mandalorian Season 2 with the appearance of Luke Skywalker until they fired Gina Carano, and it wasn't.
And yes, just like Star Wars Theory, I teared up at the end just because after destroyed Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi and all that, I was happy to see Luke. I was happy to see real Luke Skywalker at the peak of his abilities, even if they completely undid all of the plot elements in the next season by him giving Luke back, or giving Grogu back to Din Djarin.
Star Wars was saved with Obi-Wan Kenobi until it wasn't.
Survived getting stabbed twice in the stomach.
Was saved with Ahsoka until it wasn't. But don't get down, you over 942,000 Awakening Wonders and the 40% who haven't subscribed yet, because after 10 years, Lucasfilm has finally cracked.
Yeah, we can see the percentages of people that watch our videos that aren't actually subscribed. His is in the 40s. Mine's in like the 90s. 90% of you who watch this aren't subscribed, even though it's one click button and a like. But I guess that's the struggle. That is a struggle, and that's why I realize now they mention it, because I sit there staring at those unsubscribed numbers, and he's probably thinking, man, if you just subscribed, I'd be beating Dan Vask right now in the race, and I won't have to sing a Bon Jovi song.
Crack the code to Star Wars. This time it's going to be different, because this time Disney Star Wars is going to be saved by a woman, and not just any woman. A female activist documentarian. From the Washington Examiner, new female director says it's about time a woman shapes the Star Wars franchise, and that's an unfortunate picture below that headline. I can hear you now. Hasn't a woman been in charge of...
And I'd also like to point out that a lot of people are saying that we were missing the context that Charmin obeyed Chinoy, her comments were in, and that they were 8 years ago, and they were at a conference talking about women abuse. And no. We've made very clear that in the context, there's nothing wrong with what she said. Like talking about actual toxic masculinity and the oppression of women in the Middle Eastern world and Pakistani world. It was all her other comments that she's an activist and activist first, and no matter what storytelling she does, her activism is in it, whether it's covert or subvert. And it was the overall implication of why would you hire this specific person to do a Star Wars movie that is already struggling about a character that no one likes. It was just further evidence that Disney is going to triple, quadruple down on everything.
Star Wars for over 10 years? Yes. Isn't that woman an activist? Yes. But she's not a female of color activist. Haha, gotcha. And who is this first female of color activist to direct a Star Wars film and shape Star Wars? Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy.
Filmmaker and activist Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy is the only female director to have won 2 Academy Awards by the age of 37. She's also the first woman and the first person of color to direct a Star Wars film.
The question is, who cares?
Exactly. Who gives a
And that
shit?
Star Wars film just so happens to be the triumphant return of Rey Palpatine.
And by the way, that bothers them. It bothers so much that you guys, that we don't care about her gender or her skin color or her sexuality. Oh, you see those videos of, at least from the transsexual community, they go, it really bothers me when people say that they don't care about it. It's like, because we don't. All we care about is, can you make a good story? Can you make characters that are true to the story and serve the story and ring true authenticity?
In the new Jedi Order, which should excite 5s and 10s of fans out there. And you might rightfully ask, what are the qualifications that led Lucasfilm to hire a documentarian to helm a multi-million-dollar Disney Star Wars film?
When you can play the woman card, you play the woman card.
Outside of that, as far as her genre experience goes, there's 2 animated features from Pakistan and 2 whole episodes of Miss Marvel. You remember the highly acclaimed show that nobody watched that led into a movie that...
Nah, bro, she did 2 episodes of Miss Marvel. Give her a $300 million Star Wars film. That's obviously enough.
Nobody watched. The Marvels. What could possibly go wrong? Now, before I get too far ahead of myself, let's hear from Sharmeen. Maybe she is a lifelong Star Wars fan. Maybe she'll break down some lore. Maybe she will talk about specific...
I guarantee you Charmin Ultra has never seen a Star Wars movie. Not all the way through, paying attention the entire time.
movies, books, comics, or Disney Plus shows that inspired her.
You know, I'm very thrilled about the project because I think what we are about to create is something very special.
While there's never been anything special about Disney Star Wars other than its inexplicable systematic destruction of the biggest cinematic franchise of all time and the destruction of beloved iconic characters through turning the mighty Star...
Which was cut out. Remember, Hollywood's so proud of this virtue signal, and then they cut it out for every country that doesn't agree with the actual homophobes. They cut this out.
Star Wars into a platform for things like identity politics and intersectional feminism, but maybe she breaks the trend.
And we're in 2024 now, and I think it's about time that we had a woman come forward to shape the story. And again,
And all she had to say was, you know, we're in 2024 now, and I think it's time to get back to what Star Wars has always been, and something very important for the family, and not just for girls, but for boys, because we must teach boys to be heroes and not abusers of women. No, none of that shit. It's all fucking, it's time for a woman, and it's just this self-righteous smugness that is pissing everyone off. And again, forget the little boys, forget boys at all. Everything's about women now. And I don't know, if you're a male, if you're a little kid and you're a boy, I don't know what to tell you. No positive representation for you, no positive affirmation for you. Sorry.
galaxy far, far away.
I guess if you don't count Kathleen Kennedy, all the female executives at Lucasfilm, all the women in the Lucasfilm story group, Bryce Dallas Howard, who directed episodes of The Mandalorian.
Gary, I caught you. You put Pablo in there, and you're correct. Dave Filoni is also a woman for all intents and purposes. By his own admission, the energy, things that are important to him, the way he speaks, what he wants to focus on. The only male energy behind the scenes has been Jon Favreau.
Mandalorian, and Deborah Chow, who directed episodes of The Mandalorian and the entire series of Obi-Wan, who, along with a lot of men, have shaped Star Wars into a perfect turd. Sure, except for Patty Jenkins. So technically, Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy is the first female.
Oh, look at that handshake. Oh, she must have been nervous.
Patty Jenkins. So technically, Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy is the first female to potentially direct a Star Wars film since the last.
I think we're all going to feel about her the same way I at least feel now about sort of Rachel Zegler and Brie Larson, is that These women didn't know really what they were stepping into, or really not even stepping into, what they were being thrown into, what the Disney Studios was putting them out to, what they let them just say anything while giving some guidelines about, hey, maybe don't alienate the office, maybe don't say you don't like the product. It just let them out there, and here they are getting destroyed by the world. I I, I feel bad. I feel bad a little bit.
One was fired, but still, let's give her a chance. Maybe she'll talk about some specifics about what she likes about the story of Star Wars or a favorite character.
Insurmountable sort of roadblocks, who tackle things, who fight to have their voices heard, who have inner conflict, who are forging the way, who have self-doubt at some point, but then they come forward and, they try and change the narrative on something, push the needle on something, win a few battles, and eventually create change within themselves and within their communities. And if you strip Star Wars of everything, that's what Star Wars is all about.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
Okay, I thought Star Wars was about the rise and fall of Anakin Skywalker, who turns into Darth Vader.
Yeah, George has gone on saying that, like, if you strip everything away from Star Wars, it's a movie about a father and son, fathers and sons.
And later his son joins with the Rebel Alliance to take on the evil Galactic Empire, leading to the redemption of Anakin Skywalker and the defeat of Emperor Palpatine, a space opera that explores themes like family, heroism, destiny, and the eternal battle of good and evil. And most importantly, it was fun, at least until the Disney trilogy.
And it had classical analogies of politics and social issues, not modern day politics.
Came along and completely dismantled all of it. You know what isn't fun? Activism. But again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Charmin will prioritize storytelling over activism.
I think at the heart of everything, I am a storyteller.
All right, that sounds good.
And an activist.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
My body of work over the last 20 years has been guided by my activism, and every single piece of work that I've ever created has a piece of activism in it.
That's why we're all worried, because I don't believe this person here is capable of separating her activism from a story about fucking Jedi in a galaxy far, far away that happened a long, long time ago. It just, they're two different, you can't reconcile those two belief systems.
It could be very overt or it could be covert, but it is there.
That is why you fail.
And I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there because Gary's got another 6 minutes here. Please, I'm not trying to steal his shine at all. I'm going to finish this on my own. Please go, if you don't already, go watch Nerdrotic. Please like, share, and subscribe to him. He really is a guru. He is a guru. He knows what he's talking about. And deep down, just like all these other creators, they care. They actually still care. Even when they say they don't care and it's dead, Gary, even though he says Doctor Who is dead, he cares about Doctor Who still. It's so painful to see these franchises that we love and spend. Look at all the money he spent on these figures. You think the activists go and spend this type of money and time and energy on the franchises that they take over and destroy? They don't, but we do. We do, and that's why we have groups like this. It's like a fellowship, it's almost like a self-help group. We find each other on the internet. We self-grieve over our destroyed franchises. We try to, literally, this is the cope that we do. It's just, well, I guess we can meme on it. We can talk about it with each other. Look what they're doing. They're going to do it again. Please go watch Gary. Thank you for watching this one. Like, share, and subscribe. If you've done that, thank you. I really appreciate it. And if you're going to do that, thank you. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next one.